Bam, we're live.
That was very enthusiastic.
That's always my favorite part.
Have you ever said that before?
Yeah, I said it on everyone.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
This one was like,
Yeah.
we're here. We're here. Happy Sunday, guys.
Yeah. Happy Sunday, everyone. What's
Yeah.
up?
What's going on? Slater, Kenneth, giddy up.
Giddy up. I
Yeah.
like that one too.
Where is your coffee?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I had mine already.
I did.
I opened the deli this morning, so I've had like 4 cups of coffee already.
Yeah, and our puppy decided to get us up early. It was a very weird night. So everybody's had coffee, everybody's got fit aid,
Yeah.
But we're here. We're happy to be here. So
hopefully the guys. Hey Heidi.
What's up?
Hopefully the guys have a safe trip back, whatever they're doing.
Yeah.
We learned a lot this week.
As always, I feel like
way more than we should have learned, but we learned a lot this week.
Yeah, I feel like that. I feel like every week, brings us some new stuff. So,
What's up, Jody? Kenneth, we got the $150 Paper Street gift card too, so we're ready for the next month or so.
Yeah.
CK Kevin, dude, I can't even tell you how much I'm tripping on the IVF thing. We talked about it at lunch yesterday, and I just can't even, if you have leftover embryos, right? Because the embryos are supposed to be fertilized, right?
Yeah, they say that they are it's better to fertilize them before you freeze them
because they become more viable, or they so if you have leftover embryos, what do you like if you have
that's the question. That's the
I mean, that's a crazy, I've never heard anybody talk about it. Does that so if you, I don't know what's the right, if you get rid of them, is that against the law? Like
I don't know. That's a very interesting question, because when it does come to IVF, because my understanding, I've never had it. We didn't go through IVF for our son, but my understanding is that they try to get as many eggs as possible, because the surgery to retrieve the eggs and all the hormones and stuff like that, they try to retrieve as many as possible. So that if implantation doesn't happen, that they don't have to go through another huge cycle of retrieving eggs again.
Yeah,
that's why they get shots and all this type of stuff to mature the eggs to get more viable eggs to size. Again, this is my understanding. If I'm wrong, correct me. So that they can retrieve, yes, Jonathan, so that they can retrieve the eggs.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So they're trying to get as many as possible, because think about it. If they retrieved 1 or 2 eggs, for instance, and neither one of them took an implantation or whatever, then she'd have to go through the procedure all over again. And Kevin, I think is it per cycle? I think it's per cycle that they would go in. So then because if you take the eggs for 1 cycle and then you do implantation for the next cycle, you have to wait for the following cycle to retrieve the more eggs. So it's always based on a monthly cycle.
That's crazy.
So I did think that they got as many eggs as possible.
Giddy up. AI says storage, donation, compassionate transfer, disposal. That's got to be trippy. What if you donated them?
Yeah.
So that means somebody else can get implanted with them and have. Oh, so it'd just be like kind of giving the baby up for adoption sort of thing.
I think so.
That's how I would look at it. Yeah, that's gotta be trippy. AI never had no IVF baby.
Yeah.
Aaron Fraser, I see you. Maybe at the end, more hog talk. I think I learned my lesson about doing it at the beginning. I can do it at the end. But yeah, I'm excited to pick your brain about that, CK, because I'm actually extremely interested in it. And I figured to start off just with some fun. This reminds me so much of Jake Chapman's kid. Like I just see this I see Jake's kid doing this at some point because he's a dirt bike rider.
Holy shit! Oh my god!
See it though? Did you see the deer come out of nowhere? Like there was a deer that just came out of nowhere.
No.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god!
He handled it like a champ.
I got fucking smoked by a deer.
Yes.
I love it.
Yes. Wait, no, I didn't see the
I'll let
deer.
it play one more time. It's a little long, but there's like this giant deer that just pops out of nowhere and destroys this kid.
What side?
On the right side of the screen. And he's just riding along. He's talking.
Hanging out.
Yeah, just making a video for social media. And he's cruising, telling people, hey, relax. It's bumpy. I know. It's all good. And then this deer comes out of nowhere and just crushes.
Oh, yep. I saw it that time. Damn. They do really come out of nowhere because last night when I was going to pick up the baby from his, friend little winter wonderland Christmas event or whatever, I stopped at a stop sign and then I was rolling through or whatever. And I kid you not, nothing was there. And then this deer just trots itself across the road. Thank God I was not going very fast because I would have lost.
Because I've seen videos of Jake Chapman's kid riding. That kid is fearless. Just like, hey, watch out for deer.
Oh, did I send you the one I found?
Oh, anybody else? I had this argument with my friend this morning. Is Die Hard a Christmas movie or not?
You starting off strong, huh?
Yeah, like
we gonna fight?
I started this morning at like 6 a.m. with my buddy, and I say Die Hard is one of the greatest Christmas movies of all time, and he yelled at me and told me it's not. So
I learned this today, and it's very much sounds like Jake Chapman. So I can't.
Yes, thank you.
Send it.
100%. Thank you, Travis.
Oh.
Yep. Hi, Standy, Randy, Olivia.
Okay, but why is it a Christmas movie though? Because I was listening to this conversation, and why is it a Christmas movie? Because it happens at Christmas time?
Yes.
Okay, so that makes it a Christmas movie.
Yes. And Die Hard 2 is also a Christmas movie.
Because it happened on Christmas too.
Yeah. Kenneth, I could care. I could care less. Where is he? You're probably right, and it probably makes your life a lot easier not having to fight about it.
Listen, but I feel like people fight about it.
They do.
They absolutely fight about it. All right, so this is what I learned, and it
Christine
sounds
Young. Yeah,
very much like Jake Chapman.
Just doing a Jake show today.
You will be shocked how many people still don't know this, and it's very common. If you get triggered by the sound of someone chewing, speaking, or even breathing the wrong way, you might have misophonia.
Jake, this is for you.
Extreme hatred of certain sounds. This software glitch means you are deeply and emotionally affected by common sounds which wouldn't routinely affect other people. And this could
sound about you?
Yeah.
Sound about right?
Well beyond a simple annoyance or sensitivity like hyperacusis. Oh no, this is a spectrum of emotional disturbance from anger or disgust to full-on vomitrocious fury. We don't...
That, you can start it off. Yeah, that is definitely, he does get pissed off very quickly about shit like that.
It came up in my algorithm yesterday, and I was like, oh my God, this is absolutely Jake Chapman.
Oh, Heidi, you don't like it either? She doesn't like the sounds either? Oh, should be fit for Heidi. Oh, okay. You got two of them.
Okay.
That's why they're best friends. That's cool.
Yeah.
All right. This one killed me. I can't believe this. And this, having an autistic kid, this scares me to no end. But there's a center for autism upstate. Well, it's not upstate, but just outside of Poughkeepsie, and it's just for autistic kids. It's funded by the state. And damn, man, this one guy that works there, he's like 50 years old. He dragged a 19-year-old autistic kid like through the home by his scrotum for like, I think it said like 25 to 50 feet. And then the door closes. I'm not going to play the clip because I can't, because the kid's crying. He wants his mom. They close the door. And then the kid's in there with the guy for a little while longer. And that scares. First of all, I can't even imagine sending him to a boarding school.
Mm-hmm.
But the guy, I guess the father is I don't know, he's like a hedge fund, some money guy.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm assuming he just doesn't want to deal with his kid. But
well, I mean, different stories are different stories. I also follow a mom that talks about her son who is severely autistic, and because of his behaviors towards her, towards the father, and I believe that they have another child or a couple other children, that they had to make the devastating decision to send him to a group home because his behaviors were so sporadic. They were so aggressive. And so
for the safety of the other
for the
children?
safety of the other children as well as themselves. So I think that, again, it goes by an individual basis. I've heard stories where, some families just don't want to care for their children that need more support, and they just send them to these
But
group
are there
homes.
stories where it's safe? It's more safe.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
that one ain't safe. And that guy is probably going to go to jail for a long time. It just came out today. But working in a group home, I can't imagine. What was you worked for IGHL, but that wasn't just autistic kids. That was
a spectrum. I had some guys in there that mostly autistic. And again, on the spectrum of autism, cerebral palsy. I also,
my son gets pretty violent at times, and we have a fear of having to put him in a home.
Yeah. Because I think, and Kenneth, I don't want to speak for you, but I think it's just this feeling of helplessness of like, am I helping my kid? How can I help my kid? How can I stop these, these times where they get violent, whether it's violent against other people or violence against themselves, and that was a big one. There was one kid that I had in this particular group home that he was a self-destructor. So when he would get upset, because he was also nonverbal, he could say a couple things, but was obviously unable to speak his needs of what he actually wanted. If you knew him long enough, you could follow, his lingo of gestures and, sounds and that kind of stuff. But when he would get upset, he was self-destructive. So he would hit himself and run into walls. He would punch himself in the face. He would then go after other people too. So it would start with his behavior towards himself, and then it would escalate towards other people. And there are times that we couldn't, someone's literally following him and
was he the one that grabbed you?
No, that was a different home.
Oh, okay.
I was a different group that I worked at. But there were times, and they tried the helmet, but the helmet would make it worse because then it's a sensory thing. He doesn't want to wear the helmet all the time. So that would make his behaviors worse because they're trying to protect him. But for him, it's more constriction. It's more sensory overload for him. So there are times that he would have to have a one-on-one. There are times that sadly he would have to stay in his room and somebody would have to stay in there with him just to simply keep him safe and try to protect him from hitting himself and hitting his head on the wall and going after other people. And then we also were trained in proper takedowns, I guess you could call it, or wraps. So like if someone's coming at you, how you safely avoid. And then sometimes some guys, I never was there when this particular guy had them, he had them, but I was never there for that. Where they would have to restrain him and keep him on the ground until they could try to get him to regulate himself and try to calm down. But of course, as we all know, if you're in that heightened state, if your nervous system is on overload and then you have somebody restraining you, they very much battle each other. They very much counteract each other. But again, like, what do? You do the best you can in those kind of situations. Yes. Yep.
Yeah, they taught you. I remember you going through that training.
Yes.
But like for parents that don't have training in that, I mean, Kenneth obviously has training, but I mean, to do it to your own kid, that's gotta suck.
Yeah. And some, I follow a lot of IG, oh my God, what are they called? Accounts. Sorry.
Yeah.
I lost the word for a second.
Too much caffeine.
I think so. I follow a lot of IG accounts, and I hear and I see a lot of these stories, and there are some kids that just swing at their moms, and their moms are trying to navigate and figure out what's the best way to support them, to understand, but also to correct the behavior. One woman brilliantly is, it's like, she says like nice hands or quiet hands or something like that. And then when she says that, her son is able to sit and keep his hands. So he interlocks his hands and keeps his hands. So it's you do the best that you can. And I believe in certain situations, I believe that not everybody that puts their kids in group homes is because they don't want to take care of their kid. I think that some parents get to the point where they feel like they have no other choice but then to, because in group homes, you also have to remember too, they're supposed to have more therapy available, speech therapy, physical therapy, behavior therapy, all of these type of things. It's state funded, it's state run. So ideally you're supposed to have more people in there circulating to advocate and support them. That's not always the case, but
how did you, Jody Lynn, how did you come to work in a group home?
It was not my college degree. So I grew up with my mother, who worked with the special needs community a lot, and she did a VIP soccer program. So it's called Very Important Person Soccer Program. And so I was introduced to, special needs kids very, very young. And
you were working for
then.
Yeah. What were you?
Yeah.
What was the name of it that you were working for upstate? When you were working with Thomas James all the time?
UCP.
Yeah.
United Cerebral Palsy. It might be called Upstate Cerebral Palsy now. But I did that, and then, or I grew up with that, and then I started a special needs dance program when I was a dance teacher upstate, and that is where I met Thomas James, who is Garrett's
my sister's
uncle. That's actually how we met. We met through her, or through him. So I was working with him at the dance studio, and then his caretaker, his sister, Lori, love her to death, was like, "Hey, you're great. Will you come work at my house?" And so I went through UCP's training program. So in there you learn about, so with him, it was one-on-one. I didn't start working in group homes until I moved down here, when I was looking for a job down here. But with him, I would go to the house and I would do what they call respite. It's a fancy way of saying, like, I would hang out with him and I would work on simple goals with him, but nothing too structured. It was kind of like, if they wanted to go out and have, go to the grocery store without him, or go on a date, or go do something, he could stay home with me and we would work on stuff that was, they were in process of. So it was, whether it was helping him get dressed, it was brushing his teeth, depending on what time of day it was. If they were, doing crafts, playing games, eating, like that kind of stuff, I would jump in to what was already being done and continue to do stuff with him and hang out with him. It wasn't until I got down here,
that was the group homes, right?
Where I went and started working in group homes. In group homes, unfortunately, it's very difficult with group homes because there is such a spectrum of support needed. So you have, in one particular home, I had a young girl that was completely wheelchair bound. And then I have another gentleman that is, they don't like to say higher functioning, but he was able to be very independent. And it almost didn't seem like that they were in the same space. You know what I mean? So that's why, like, always being understaffed. You have some guys that would technically need 2-to-1 support, but there's not enough staff to support the 2-to-1 support, because then you have another person that has a one-on-one, then you have another person that is very independent, then you have another person. And I'm talking about independent, meaning like they want to do things also. They want to play games. They want to do this. They want to go here. They want to, all this type of things. And you can't when there's not enough support for them. So that was hard for us working there.
The turnover rate's got to be, huge too, because I can't, it's got to take a very special person to be able to work in a group home like that as a career for long periods of time.
Well, sadly, they offer high pay.
Yeah, because they're all state funded. It said on the other case that it was like $651 or something like that for every kid that goes to that school, the state pays.
Yeah, so that is also the reason why they want to continue to have these group homes filled as much as possible, because most of them use their Medicaid benefits.
Yeah.
So the more kids that you have, the more adults that you have in these group homes, they can use their Medicaid to build, to fund, whether it's rent, quote unquote rent, this, that, and whatever. And the problem is that they get a lot of people in to want to work, but many people don't stay because they're there for the paycheck and they don't actually want to step up and do what is actually necessary for the guys that are in these homes to be supported. So, I mean, you have also different shifts. So I would work the overnight shift sometimes, and part of your overnight shift is going in and making sure that people are dry and cleaned and the house is cleaned. And then you have some people that don't want to do that. They want the paycheck, but they don't want to actually do what needs to be done. So that is that back and forth of like, not saying that group homes aren't needed, not saying that kind of support is not needed, but the vetting process on how they get people to work in these businesses, because obviously the higher paying up, the nurses, the nurse aides, the managers, the directors, all of them. God, I always do that. I have to figure out how to turn those off, or I just got to stop talking with my hands. They get paid very well.
Yeah.
And then they pay us, the ones that come in and actually work the day to day, and I think I've told this story before, that the issue that I had with the one day that I actually was physically grabbed by somebody, he had grabbed the back of my hair and wouldn't let me go, was because the upper ends come in and they try to clean house, but they're not with these guys day in and day out. So we might not do things specifically how it's written. But for instance, like we know what Gene needs. We know how he moves. We know how he needs to be supported. So it might not be written exactly how you're supposed to do it, but it works. Yeah. And so they come in and they try to just clean house and they try to make everything as written. And John may not follow that specifically. We might follow a couple things, but instead of turning right for these 3 steps, we got to turn left a little bit because he follows this a little bit easier than he follows this. You know what I mean? So,
yeah, that was a scary night when he grabbed you. You were shaking up. Did someone come in and help you out? How'd you get out of it?
Patience. And I just stayed very calm. And so he had the back of my hair. And I put my hand on top of it because they always say that if someone pulls your hair, you want to localize it. So I don't want him to move. I don't want him to pull my hair, or like pull my head, pull me down, or anything like that. And so I just localized his hand and just stayed very, very calm and was just talking to him like, I know, bud, like, I know you don't want to put your shoes on, because he didn't want to put his shoes on. He wanted to walk around in socks. He had always walked around in socks. And now the new rule immediately that day was like, you have to put your shoes on right now. Because if you fall and something happens, instead of giving us a heads up, instead of giving us time to talk to him and repeat and say, hey, bud, it's a safety thing. So now in here, maybe not your sneakers, but maybe you get him a pair of slippers that have the grip on the bottom. So it's like those slipper shoes versus the slipper socks that he liked to wear. Like, so you have to give us some time to support him on how he's going to understand that for safety, he needs to put his shoes on. So they came in and they were barking orders and all that type of stuff. And so I had worked with him, and him and I were always great together. He always listened to me. There was no issue. And I was like, come on, bud, like, let's just go and we'll put your shoes on. And I went down into his closet to reach down, and he was very upset and he was completely overstimulated, and he grabbed the back of my head. There was another worker in the bedroom next to me with a woman that, was wheelchair bound.
Yeah.
So I simply just kind of raised my voice a little bit and said, like, I said her name, like, you know, when you get a moment, could you please come help me? And she closed the door and left me in there by myself. And so I was very lucky that just staying calm, he let go of my hair. And as soon as he let go of my hair, I left the room. I left him in there with his shoes. I left the room and my boss was out in the living room. And I said, I'm taking my phone and I'm going outside. And she's like, what happened? I'm like, I need a minute. So then I get outside. Obviously, I call you. I'm completely shaken up. I'm, you know, shaking and crying and just, you know what I mean? And so I had my moment outside. And then I believe, I don't know, what did I do? I stayed there 3 more days, I think, and then I was done.
Yeah, and I was happy to have you home.
Yeah,
too.
I
I didn't like that very much.
Well, if you have an actual team, then that's one thing. Like, I knew going in there that it was a possibility that I could get into situations like this. You know what I mean? And I don't feel like it's vindictive, and I don't feel like it's on purpose. I feel like he was completely overstimulated. He was completely overwhelmed, and he is unable to vocalize what he needs. Second of all, we're all selfish and we want what we want when we want it. So I don't take that from him either, but we are able to understand what that is of like, well, you can't always get what you want. And when you have somebody that is always given what they want because the family or friends or staff doesn't want them to go into a behavior by starting to put boundaries in, by starting to put consequences in, you know, for stuff like that, of course he's going to want what he wants on top of being yelled at. So I would have stayed if I felt like that my other teammates on my staff
would have backed you up,
would have had my back, because God forbid it got worse. I mean, when I tell
he was a big boy.
He was a big, strong boy, and he could have easily, and I really thought this was going to happen. I thought he had my hair so tight and he was leaning me forward so much that I thought he was going to put my head through the wall.
Yeah, that was a scary day.
Yeah.
A super scary day.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's exactly Sean Lenderman, another job with too many management positions, eating up the pay that keeps passionate people out of there. Right.
Yeah.
Because I know a lot of people that would have loved to stay, that's their job, and they ended up moving over to the retirement home section because it was just safer and they had more help and more resources. This one I want to Standy Randy.
Yeah.
My brother will never be able to live on his own, but my parents would never send him to be watched over by strangers. But I agree, parents probably feel hopeless and don't know what else to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was always my fear. But Thomas James, my uncle, when his parents died, he lives with his sister. And then if he outlives his sister, then her daughter, my sister, will take care of him. And that's always been the thing. But what if you don't have that?
Yeah, for sure.
That's scary to me. Where does he go then? You know what I mean?
It's scary to me now.
Yeah.
With Bede. Like it's scary to me now. You know what I mean? And it's just, it takes it up to a whole nother level when we have kids that just need a little bit more support or need a lot more support.
Yeah.
You know, so with you know, Standy Randy, with the fact that his parents, you know.
No, I'm pretty sure she's a girl. I think I've seen that on multiple shows. That she is a
but having parents that can, you know what I mean? And having a community and having support that can, you know, not everybody has that. And that's why I really, again, I believe that it is a person to person situation, you know.
And that's another thing when they go to these homes, especially with this Anderson case that I want to follow, is that what if they didn't get that on camera and he's nonverbal? You know, how
many stories do you hear about nurses abusing patients, you know, adult or elderly patients? Like,
we had that happen just in the, like 4 or 5 years ago. There's a daycare
Yeah.
There's a daycare down the road
Yep.
that were locking kids in closets and not feeding them or feeding them gross, moldy something. And I was just, they need to do more for that.
Yeah.
Like,
And
for the people that work there, so that they can feel supported and be helped and want to stay and want to care about kids and kids with special needs. And it's just, kind of, I was thinking the same thing. Stuff like that plays a factor into why we home, for sure.
Well, yeah, when it comes to schools too, you know, because some kids go to like a day program, which is essentially their school. And I've seen, you know, cases where they call it a sensory room. And in the sensory room, some of them have like padded walls because some kids are so sensory driven that they do like things like impact. You know what I mean? So like impact where they want to throw themselves into a wall, not necessarily to hurt themselves, but to give them that sensory input that they need. But what was happening is that some people were abusing this room and just locking kids in there for hours while they're there. And that's why, like, you know, go ahead.
No, CK said he got locked in a closet at some old lady's house that watched a bunch of kids when he was young. But don't worry, he's fine. Hey, Craig Paisley, what's up?
I'm glad that
Madeline,
that you've
that
recovered from that. But they use it, they overuse it, and where they don't actually. And I think there was a situation where, and I don't remember, I think I saw it on Instagram, where a parent had to go and get her child, but they wouldn't release her child to her because he had put his hands on another staff member. So it was like this whole big thing, and she had to go and essentially fight to be able to bring her child home.
Yeah.
You know, so and
they wonder why we're out here mad, not wanting people to be able to teach our kids shit at school that indicate CK coming out of the closet fight.
Welcome.
Only on this show.
Welcome,
Only
CK.
on this show.
Welcome. It's a safe place.
Don't do that. That is not acceptable.
Stefan won't let us back on.
That is not acceptable.
This is not a safe place.
This is not. Everybody gets these jokes on here. This is not safe at all.
But yeah, I mean, I worry about that.
Yeah.
You know, one of the things I worried a lot when Bede was first diagnosed was that he wasn't going to have any friends, and that, you know, you have this,
or he wouldn't be able to connect with people.
Yeah. And you have, you know, you have these fears naturally, I think, as parents. But it was really emphasized when he got his diagnosis that he was never going to be able to have friends and connect with friends and have a group. And I think I kind of always pictured how they portray kids, you know, that are on the spectrum where they're just by themselves and they get made fun of all the time. And but let me tell you something, this boy has his crew.
Yep.
He has his crew. He has his boys that he talks about all the time, that they hang out all the time in school, and they're there for each other. And it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
In my day, diagnosis was a phase. That's true.
Well, I mean, that's, you know, I would say for us right now, that is the challenge I think that we're facing, is that
a lot of adults are getting diagnosed now that weren't diagnosed as kids because it just wasn't accepted.
But they also say that there could be a correlation or a genetic correlation between between a birth parent and a child, because they say it's genetic.
Yeah.
But what I was gonna say is, oh, thanks, Jonathan. Yeah, he's pretty cool. He's a pretty cool kid.
He's funny, dude.
You know, everybody was so adamant about us getting him tested. Like, it was almost like a really big push to get him tested. And now that we've gotten him tested and he has been clinically diagnosed by a therapist, psychologist, I think it was.
Clinical psychologist.
Yep.
Yeah.
And has his diagnosis. Now he's doing too well. So we are going to be those parents that are going to have to continue to fight for him to get the support that he deserves.
Yeah.
You know? So
All right. Anybody following the foster care system too, which is that the foster care system is what like crazy pro-choice people always use as a reason to have an abortion because you don't want to throw them in the foster care system because whatever happens in there, it's woefully underfunded. But God, man, I'd still rather be alive in the foster care system than not alive. I don't know. I just hate that argument, but yeah, I hear you.
Well, I think it just shows that there's holes in most, if not all, state-run systems. You know what I mean? And I think, and I like to believe, call me naive, I like to believe that a lot of these were started with good intentions. You know what I mean?
You hope so.
I would hope
Yeah.
that they were started with good intentions, and I would hope that there are really good people that are working in these different systems, that are literally doing it just because of the kindness of their heart and they truly believe in helping and supporting people. But you hear more than not that there are a lot of, yep, Sean, yep.
My wife works for DHS and it's a mess. It's hard for passionate people even working in that system.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, and
they won't stay. Jake, we already talked about you.
We did. You missed it.
All right, hold on. Let's switch gears to this guy because this has been.
Someone must have called Jake and told him that we were talking about him. That's why he's here.
Before I go to this, Anna, you want to do Anna from the UK?
Yeah, you got her.
I knew my son was autistic, didn't get him diagnosed because he wanted to join the military, but I recently got him diagnosed age 12 and now he's thriving as he gets the right support. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, you can't. Oh, no, I guess you can't be autistic and go in the military, huh?
I don't think so.
Damn, that's right. So is it kind of like
no, Jake, you don't have to leave.
So he must. So he must be verbal. He's probably kind of like a little G, I guess. I would assume. But that's great.
Yeah.
As soon as we got Garrett the support that he needed to, he started to absolutely thrive and grow and make friends. And
yeah.
I'm ex-military, probably autistic, and I swear 70% of the military are neurodivergent. Jonathan Ortega, nope, you can't. So I don't know if any of you guys know this guy. He's Cenk. He is on every podcast everywhere. He's like a liberal mouthpiece. He was part of all the rhetoric that Trump is, dangerous to the world and our country and people and women and everybody else. And he went on the Patrick Bet-David podcast the other day, and he started talking about how we all have to now kind of come together, and we have to be able to fight essentially, but then go out and have a beer after we fight. And I'm like, you're going to bring a bunch of people that have been fighting each other for the past 4 years, like tooth and nail, claw, bring them together, want them to fight it out and then go get a beer. And they probably don't even know how to fight with each other. Like, I'd assume you have, like, this, again, why I love Savon's chat. Like, I love you guys because you guys can, bite at each other in the chat or whatever. And then
they
you guys
do bite each other a lot.
And then you can,
especially the boys.
Yeah. You DM each other later and it's all good. And it's bro hugs and all this stuff and whatever. It's because I think you guys know each other. You all know each other. You know how to fight with each other. It just, that it's not on a personal level. You just disagree. And the problem with Cenk is everything you say to him, he takes it personally, or the person he's fighting with takes it personally. And then they, Ken versus Fergie on Netflix Live. Yeah, and it's so great to see, and people can't do that. It's like you and I had to learn how to fight when we first got together. I mean, we that was like the first 6 months was just learning how to fight with each other.
Yeah.
And the way other people fight with each other,
we're like, there's no fucking
it
way.
It would not work for me at all. There's no fucking way I could do it. Ortega. I don't know any of these people, but like it's cool to fight with them. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you guys kind of all have your own understanding of it. And it's, I mean, isn't the most famous one Pat Lang and
Savon.
yeah, that was like the most infamous one. So I just thought it was funny that now all of a sudden that he lost and Trump now becomes a transformative president, and we're all looking forward. CK Kevin, my liberal gym friends are terrible at fighting, but we still have drinks and work out together. I think, and you should. I just think you have to be able to have like a relationship with them to be able to do that. You know what I mean? I just, all the shit you see on Instagram and whatever, just a bunch of people that aren't willing to actually have like a mutual respectful conversation.
Yeah, but I don't know if everybody is actually out there for that.
Oh, hi, Pat Lang. I was just complimenting you on how well you can get into a debate and then just it's all cool after the debate.
Savon.
Yeah.
Did you call it a debate?
I didn't even say your name 3 times, but that was really cool. That was fire. But yeah, because he was the loudest, most obnoxious one about it. I used to hate watching him on any podcast, but I'd always watch it because I want to see what he was going to say.
Mm-hmm.
But he was just so obnoxious. And now I think it's funny that he wants to sit and come to the table because the future looks bright. And
yeah, but why not?
I mean, he has to now, right?
I mean,
there's nothing else he can do.
Yeah, I mean, there's that argument, but why not? Why not just come to the table and do it a little bit differently? You know what I mean? Like, it's one of those things, if you do the same thing and expect a different result, most of us eventually get to a point where you're like, I'm tired of doing the same thing and getting the same result. So maybe let's try something different. You know?
Yeah, Cenk is repositioning himself for the reality that his brand of progressivism. Yeah, dude. He tried to act like he didn't say some crazy shit in the last year. Some crazy defending all kinds of things that I'm sorry, as a grown man, like that you should not be defending that shit. Like men and women's sports and all that stuff. And he would not drop the bone. And now all of a sudden he's going to be best friends with PBD and they're all going to come together and start these. I mean, it's great that he's doing it if he really means it, but from what I can tell, he probably doesn't mean it. His change isn't one of heart, it's tactical. Ugh. God, he's so annoying. That guy is so annoying on every podcast. Pat Lang. Cenk has a good point though. Why can't people just argue about shit, try to come to a happy medium and then relax and have a beer? I don't know this Cenk dude, but it seems like a good take. I love the take if it was like heartfelt, but like everybody in the chat saying, I think it's tactical because his side lost. It's kind of like when Gavin Newsom thought he was going to get tapped to run for the Democrats. And all of a sudden he started rolling back some of his stuff at the time, his more progressive ideas at the time.
I mean, whether it's tactical or it's actually an eye opener, you know what I mean? But we talked about that. We talked about that before. Most times what we're realizing is that people in positions of power still have that personal, selfish reason as to why. But if you want to go and argue it out and then go have a beer after, cool.
No, I think it would be great. I wish we could have done it this whole freaking election so I could have explained myself and without getting yelled at.
Honey.
But
you were so
absolutely. I was.
You were so hopeful.
I had the conversation with one of my friends, and she, she's the academic type. She PhD, blah blah blah, lesbian too, married, no kids, and holy crap! When I told her that I was voting for Trump and I was against, transing kids and men and women's sports, oh my God, you would have thought that I burned her whole house down. It was just, and then she was like, "Well, aren't you trans?" And I was like, "You have known me my whole life. I am not trans. What is wrong with you?" Mm-hmm. She's like, "Well, you present like a dude." And I was like, "Yes, clothing. I wear it. The clothing that I like and the haircut that I like. And that does not mean I want to be a boy or have ever had, mm-hmm. God, it was so annoying talking to them all year long. Mm-hmm. Liberal tears are amazing. Well, here, I'll show you this too. Holy crap.
Well, I mean, you know, when it comes to having these type of conversations, I think that you really,
and this is crazy.
you really just kind of see that some people aren't willing to listen. Also that,
Let me see if I can find this. This is crazy.
also too, that I think it goes back to like, we are allowed to change our mind. We are allowed to think things differently. We are allowed to change the view of what we're looking at. You know what I mean? And listen to other people. So I think that
So this
it's
is
hard for some people to, I also think too, that when it comes to these extreme conversations, I guess you could say, I think people are also worried that they're going to be left alone. I mean, think about it.
yeah.
You know, if you have, say there's 10 friends and you all for so long walked the same, dressed the same, ate the same, drank the same, did all the same things, talked the same, had the same views, all of this type of stuff. And then 2 of them start to change their mind.
Yeah.
Well, fuck, now there's only 8 of us. And then out of those 8, you guys all do this for the next 6 months or whatever, and then 2 more drop off. So now you go from 10 to 6 people that all agree with you. And then you keep chipping away. So maybe you lose half of a person because they don't believe these things anymore, but they believe these things. So I think that there is this feeling of like, I know you in this season, so I believe that you're going to stay in this season. And something that I went through, and I still think I go through this, is that people see me. There are a lot of people in my life that still see me as a young girl, that still see me as the broken child that I was, that still sees me as the teenager that couldn't find her way, that still sees me as the young, naive high school. You know what I'm saying? Like that they still see me that way. And so they were always the one that I would look to for advice. And they were always the one that I would look up to and talk to. And I was so young when I came out, and I got married, and I did this and I did that. And so then eventually when I turn around and now I'm having adult conversations with you, it's like, who the fuck are you?
Yeah.
Who are you? Because you, to me, are still that young little naive girl that doesn't understand
And
things.
you're supposed to believe everything I say.
And I'm still
think
supposed
the way
to
I think.
exactly. So I think that there could be a lot of layers to that, of people not wanting to see somebody grow, not wanting to see somebody change their mind or have their own beliefs. And I think that becomes very difficult for parents, friends, you know what I mean? And I just think that if you're not willing to allow somebody to mature and grow and change their mind, there's that fear that they're going to be left behind, or that we're never going to be on the same page again. I have a really good friend that her and I grew up together. And when I got married and I had a kid, our lives are very, very different. I didn't cut her out. She didn't cut me out, but our lives are very, 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 very different. And so we only connect and check in with each other, but it's not the same, you know?
I just want to get this one last thing in about Cenk. Sees that anti-establishment progressives like Jimmy Dore, who was part of TYT and left, Greenwald, Schellenberger, I don't know what that word is, KB, Tabibi, etc., are thriving right now. But yeah, I know. I agree with you. I think he is just doing it because he feels like he's getting left behind and he's about to be on the wrong team. But I totally get that.
Jake Chapman, I went through a lot of hair changes when I was younger. I wasn't completely bald.
Okay, got it. But yeah, no. Well, and
hold on. There's this one too from Bernie.
People are ultimately tribal. If you're not inside, you're outside. There's special scorn for any former tribe member who leaves. Yeah, and
you're seeing that with every tribe, every group, everybody. I mean, and you said it the other day, babe. Like, it might have been on our podcast or whatever, that most groups, most communities attack their own.
Yeah,
they really do. They really, really do. I mean, I think I've talked about it before, you know, being in the autism community too. If your son is not in need of as much support as the next kid does, then they're left out.
Yeah, you're out.
You're left out because technically to other parents that have kids on the spectrum, Garrett's not autistic because he's not autistic enough the way that their children are. And so, I mean, I saw it. It's all this, excuse me, come be a part of the community. There's a place for everybody. We have your back. And then you realize very, very quickly that you have to fall into the box that we talk about. Like if you have to check all the boxes and fit into the small
that was my
box.
friend. She was so offended by the fact that I don't support transing minors. But this is what, if she even looked it up, which I doubt she even did, I found this page a while ago and it kind of helped me. And this is a grown ass adult who can do whatever they want. And he's happy. It's a girl who transitioned to a man, talking about the surgery, and this person is, I guess, is super happy. And, but this is the surgery that she had to go through to get, I guess, to this place of happiness.
Channel that shit like you.
Yes. You will never find someone as open on a topic like this, I feel.
So look at that arm right here. This is the skin that they pull from. This is the surgery. This is skin that they pull from to make your penis. And this is what is supposed to be okay.
I think they take the arm and I think they take the inside of the thigh. Right?
Yeah, the inside of your thigh.
Mm-hmm.
I went through stage 2 back in July, so I'm about 2 months post-op recovery-wise, and I still wrap my dick. Just a tip, though, because I went through glandsplasty, which is the creation of the penis head, the dick head, and I just wrap it with zero form and co-band wrapping solely for healing purposes. I had to do the exact same thing for my arm here. Usually you only have to wrap it for about 3 months post-op, so hopefully I can finish that off soon. So since it's only wrapped around the tip, still able to stand to pee like normal, which that alone is the one thing I truly wanted out of the surgery. It's extremely euphoric, and honestly, I feel like I've been peeing this way my whole life when I've only been peeing standing to pee for 2 months now for the most part.
Yeah, super happy dude. He's happy. He's an adult. He got his penis. No problem with it. Knock yourself out.
Cool.
But this is what you want to do to 15-year-old girls, 16-year-old. Are you kidding me?
Mm-hmm.
You want me to be okay with that?
Mm-hmm.
I looked at her and I was just like, there's no way you can possibly think that this is okay. There's no possible way that you can think this is okay.
I mean,
Jake, I'm pretty sure there is one if you scroll through her IG. I think there's one like right after surgery or like a week after surgery. Mm-hmm. I'm not pulling it up. Pause. But yeah, and so we just got into a massive fight and she just thinks I don't care about kids and I don't think she cares about kids. And I was just like, okay, whatever. Like, it's fine. We won't talk about it and we'll just both vote the way that we vote. Mm-hmm. But we really haven't talked since that conversation. That was about probably 7 months ago.
Yeah. And it sucks though. It sucks when you have people in your life that
I would love to, Kenneth. They won't come. They don't want to talk about it in public. Like,
no, they want to talk about it on their own platform. They want to have their own space too. So they can have the
order
control.
10, sure. But yeah, so for me, once I started to look into it, and the surgery for men is even worse. To get a vagina is even more god awful. Mm-hmm. And I was like, for kids, no, get out of here. And also too, you have these popular trans women influencers like the Blair White, they didn't even have the surgery. They just got boobs, but they knew that if they cut their dick off and got rid of their testicles, then their hormones were going to be all over the place and they weren't going to make it. That they were going to be on all kinds of drugs for the rest of their life. And they didn't want to do that. So they never even had the surgery. But you want kids to have surgery? Get out of here. I hope that solves all of the person's problems, but I doubt it. The euphoria of stand-up peeing wears off. Hey, I don't know. Maybe. I think there's a lot more going on in there than just you want to pee standing up. But again, if you're an adult, whatever makes you happy, I'm going to stay out of your house. But kids, nah, man, that's crazy. That's insane. And the hormones are bad enough. Giving the kids the puberty blockers are bad enough, let alone chopping up somebody's arm and leg. So
Well, I mean, for me, it just makes me sad to see that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Where you're taking other parts and causing yourself more harm
yeah.
to get what you're looking for. But I mean, you hear stories about, yeah, I don't know. It's just,
She knows more about Jeffree Star than me.
I
can try to search.
I mean, as far as I know, Jeffree Star doesn't believe in all of the
he's
transgender
not
stuff, pronoun stuff.
No.
You know,
he's not about that life.
no, he's a guy that likes makeup and wigs, and that's who he is, and he doesn't.
And he definitely says he's a man.
Yeah.
Like
Yep.
Yeah, here you go. To me, he's just like a flamboyant gay guy.
But I mean, Jake Chapman, do all guys have that issue?
They only what? The only issue with sitting down is when your tip goes in.
Do they all have that issue?
I mean, you've been blessed, I guess, if it can get all the way there. But yeah, no, he's pretty cool. He just
yeah. As far as I know,
he's just a flamboyant gay guy.
Yeah.
So
he's cool with that. He's not trying to.
Yeah. Us too.
Yep.
There's a couple of them too.
Did he do one with? Oh my God, I'm gonna butcher. Who fought Tyson? Jake Paul?
Jake Paul.
Okay, what's his brother's name?
Does anybody care? Isn't he a wrestler? What's his name?
But what I'm saying is, was it Jeffree Star that did a podcast with him? Might have did a podcast with.
Yeah, I think Jeffree Star. Logan. Thank you, Kenneth. Logan Paul Vindicate. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I think he did. Logan has done podcasts with everybody. He does not care at all.
I think that might have been the one that I saw.
Oh, Michael, bring up the machine gun killer lookalike teacher who's dating a tranny and confirming his son as a woman. Yeah, that dude kills me. And the I forget his name though. I don't have a reel of his right now. But yeah, he does look like Machine Gun Kelly. But what kills me about him is the tranny girlfriend also says that she's a man and that kids shouldn't be getting trans and the gay community is doing too much and we're too extra. And so she's got the right mindset. I don't know what he's doing.
I don't know. I haven't seen any of it.
But he also says he's not gay, and his girlfriend still has her penis as well. So like, I don't know. I don't get it.
No, Kenneth.
No, I didn't see that.
No.
Where else were we going? Do you want to? Oh, did anybody hear about the gun in the CEO of United Health shooting is supposed to be a vet tranquilizer gun or a vet euthanasia or I don't know, something.
Oh shit.
It's something they use to put down animals. It's supposed to be quieter. It's supposed to be, and that's why it wasn't like his gun jammed all those times. I guess he just was like pulling, I don't know. But I was like, wow, can they even trace? I don't know. The post said it was a bolt gun. Is that what it's called? I don't know. The post said it was a vet gun that veterinarians use them to put down like farm animals. It's mostly used on farms and ranches. And it's just naturally a quiet gun. Or I guess it's just made to be a quiet gun.
Oh.
But you have to pull it. Yeah. Oh, it wasn't? It was not? Oh, okay. That's what came out in this morning's post was that it was a vet gun. How do you guys feel about that? Social media is 90% happy about this guy's death.
I've heard, I haven't seen, but people have been doing like response and reactions to the fact that people are very, very happy about that. I don't think so. I think any life that's taken that way is pretty fucked up.
people, I don't know, that people have been desensitized to how fragile life is. Like you're out here wishing death on people. Like that was the Chase issue the other day too, right? Like if you saw his canceled video and he said he was getting death threats for having an opinion. And then,
I mean, Bill made a really good point. Like when they were talking about it on Get With the Programming, like to think that I'm going to sit at my computer or I'm going to sit on my phone and I'm going to send that to somebody. I can't personally wrap my head around the fact like that I would do something like that. So it's very hard for me to try to understand.
I mean, people were rooting for Trump to die. Like, even if you hate the man, you're rooting for his death. Like, the comedians were getting death threats for, I don't know, whatever. But they have families. These are human beings, and it's so easy for you to want to kill them. Like, come on, dude, that's pretty.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's easier for people to type out shit and hit send when it comes to being a ruthless savage. I doubt they feel that way.
So Pat, you think that they just type it but
be mean,
but like to get a reaction, but they don't actually mean it themselves? Is that what you mean?
I don't think they would go do it, but I feel like they say it, and if the person actually did get shot, they'd be cool with that. Which is scary to me. Sorry. Social media cred points, dude.
If
that's pretty savage.
Listen, if that's the cred that you want to be walking around with, like, do you, right?
I could never be out here wishing death on somebody, you know.
No, and
Pat would defend Hitler, Jeremy Eat World.
Oh, jeez.
I don't know. I can't see the point in it. I can't even see how that's healthy for.
Yeah, Pat, I agree with you. Yeah.
I think people like to jump on the bandwagon and go with the flow. Like you said, this was a human being with kids. It's pretty sad. Yeah. Dude.
Yeah.
It actually is.
And that's the thing. I look at it more from a human perspective of like, it's a human life. He's done. Like his kids will never see him again. His family will never see him again. You know what I mean? If he's done things, I still don't think that he deserved to be killed like that.
Nah.
You know what I mean? So.
Damn, definitely like a dog in the street. Giddy up, bad energy, bad luck. Yeah, no, I can't. I'm not out here trying to do that. But
that's a good point too, Ortega. Everybody's led by emotions, so, and they act on emotions. So,
man, we normalized that whole go play in traffic thing, and then because I know I said that a lot. Not on the internet. I never said it on the internet, but
yeah,
murder is wrong, and we all know that.
Yeah.
Do you think it was? Do you guys think it was? The dude was a professional. It looked pretty professional to me. I don't know why he would write on the bullets, but it looked pretty professional to me. That dude was pretty calm, cool, collected, chilling. Didn't he just get on a bike and like ride off into the park and then get into a taxi and head somewhere?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, go take a long walk off a short pier. Yeah. So I guess.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sad for his wife and I'm sad for his kids.
Yeah, me too.
You know, I mean, at the end of the day, that's what I got.
If you killed every douchey person that works in healthcare or works in insurance or works at card, like you don't have anybody left.
Mm-hmm.
You can't just go out there and start shooting everybody.
Yeah.
And then the last one was the Daniel Penny trial. That's happening right now. That's the biggest thing out here that's going on.
Did you see? I think he got. I don't.
No, they dropped
I think they dropped one charge.
The bigger one, the second-degree manslaughter one.
Mm-hmm.
But there's still like negligent homicide left.
Okay.
Which is like probation in 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
Daniel Penny was the guy that was on the subway, and there was a homeless guy probably on a whole lot of drugs.
Yes, vindicate.
Running around.
I think it was.
And then he choked him out. He put him in a rear naked choke, and he said he was just trying to control the guy, but the guy he just stopped breathing, went limp. There were other dudes around him though, holding down the legs and arms, his legs and arms too. I think they were witnesses in the trial, but
Devori Darkins, I think is
that's still going.
His name.
Yeah, the event happened like 2 years ago or a year ago or something. But yeah, the trial was just in the last couple of weeks, and now the jury is out, and the jury was deadlocked on second-degree manslaughter. So the judge dropped that charge.
Yep.
And
yeah, so I watched this last night or whatever. His name is Devory, Devory Darkins. He has a podcast that he does, and he did a video last night that talks about the fact that
Natalie Devory is awesome.
That BLM is using that platform and promoting their message, as well as the mayor dropped a truth bomb that was pretty much like, New Yorkers walk around and say, if you see something, say something or do something. So it was kind of like, we say that we're going to look out for each other, so we have to look out for each other. And then people are also like releasing the guy that that died, his background, where he had been arrested multiple times and he did have severe mental health issues, and that they tried to take care of this and help this, and then it just got to the point where he actually was threatening somebody. And so but that's a really good pick if you want to get a little update on that. Yeah, Natalie. Yeah, he's good. I found him randomly, and I found the Officer Tatum too. He's been doing a lot of that, the little quick recaps, which are nice. So
Jake Chapman, so he killed him. Yeah. I mean, technically it's just if you believe that he meant to kill him, or he was trying to restrain him to keep him from killing, because he was running around on the train saying that someone was going to die today. So it depends on.
Yeah, it's sad.
People out here are either one way. They're absolutely either like, don't go to, or he shouldn't go to jail at all. And then you got I forget who said it, but yeah, CK Kevin, BLM running around trying to. He's getting sued anyway.
Oh yeah,
Penny got sued by the guy's dad,
by the father, and that was something that Devory brought up too, is that their understanding is that this father has been nowhere. So that's also part of the reason why. And again, I don't know if this is true or not, but this is what he shared was that his father was not around, and was also one of the reasons that he was homeless, and that he did have severe mental health issues. His mother was killed, I think, when he was 14, which again, could definitely lead to more mental health issues and whatever.
Giddy up. Harris, who conducted an autopsy on Neely after he died following an aggressive outburst on a subway car, testified Friday that Neely had synthetic drugs in it. I wouldn't doubt it.
Yep, I heard that too. So,
and I know Vindicate asked back at the top if they even tried to resuscitate him. I heard that they didn't.
No, there's video.
Oh, there's
video of people of giving CPR and working on him.
But I think I don't know.
It looked like paramedics, but again, it was a very short clip that I saw kind of just in passing. So I can't confirm that for sure or not. But
Pat Lang, is it illegal to run around telling shit if you don't actually touch anyone? I think it is, but not sure. Is it illegal
to run around yelling shit?
No. But if you have a bunch of, I guess, civilians sitting there getting scared and worried, I don't know. Would you try to do something? If it's me, I'm trying to walk to another side of the car or go away.
I mean, this is a good point. Keep talking. I have to go to the bathroom. I'll be right back.
Yeah, Kenneth the Lap reminds me of that Paris train thing with service members. Yep, I remember that a few years back. Guy was going around with a knife, and they restrained him and ended up killing him too or something. All these young military guys. Yeah, I know. I get it. He's a Marine. He just wants to jump in and help. He's trying, I guess he's going to be an architect or something. Like he's just trying to be a good dude. I don't personally believe he actually meant to kill the guy. But, and then I was trying to think with all that adrenaline pumping, would you feel the guy's body go limp? You know what I mean? You're supposed to, I don't know. I mean, I guess you're supposed to feel, but you got clothes on. I don't know. I don't know if you have all that kind of adrenaline pumping through your veins. Was the guy like, was Penny a black belt, a 10th black belt and something? And so he should have been able to read it better. I don't think he was. I think he was just trained by the military, right?
Well, with that, and I would love to hear what you think, and Kenneth and anybody else that was in the military, served in the military or whatever. Do you think that it is a military question too? Because Kenneth brings up a really good point. It's always usually the young military guys. Like, is it coming home and not having support when you come home? Is it not knowing how to go back into civilian life without feeling that, like you were just talking about, that sense of adrenaline, that sense of fight or flight all the time? So do you think that there might be a misstep in support when young military boys come home, whether they come home on leave, they come home for holidays, they're put in situations that are civilian?
I don't know. For me, again, I'm saying if I see a dude walking around talking about somebody's about to die today, I'm trying to walk as far to the end of the train as I possibly can to not. But also, too, I'm not used to riding any kind of subway system anywhere. So maybe they see this all the time and they're just kind of like, okay, whatever. This dude's just, I don't know. Indicate they will try to use him being a trained killer against him. Yeah, that's what I mean. Was he though? Or was he just, got that service in his blood and he wants to help out people that are, that are in trouble? And that's what he's trained to do. And so he tried to help and then just didn't feel the guy's body go limp. I don't know. I don't know how any of that works. So there are programs for that. The environment in the military makes you feel like you can't seek that help. Oh, I got you. So there is help for that, but they make you like you're not tough enough if you have to go get the help, or you should be tough enough to not need the help, that kind of thing. What did Kenneth say? Probably a tan belt in the Marine Corps. Yeah, the Marine Corps martial arts programs. That's what I'm saying. Is like, has he been doing it his whole life, or was he just doing it in the military and then decided to use it to try to help? I don't know.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've been following that. Everybody out here is following that. That's all anybody can talk about right now is that. And then tomorrow they're supposed to go back in. The jurors are supposed to go back in and see if they're gonna do negligent homicide. And I think there's one other charge that they could charge him with. But the biggest charge, the 2nd-degree manslaughter, that was dropped. So we'll see what happens. We'll keep following it. I'm sorry, guys. I wish I could hang out for a lot longer, but
I go to work.
I got to go back to work.
Whatever.
I know. I was happy I got to sneak out for.
She got to go back to work.
I know. Work is messing with my playtime with my friends on YouTube. What's Pat Lang got? When Trayvon Martin tried to intervene with a crazy dude with a gun threatening him, he got killed and everyone defended the crazy guys. Oh, I'm not going all the way. I'm a
solo show, Kenneth. I don't think
slinging meat. Oh Lord, here we go.
I don't think someone wants me to hang out on this show by myself.
Oh, where's pulling a Sousa on us? What the fuck, dude? But my shows are never.
We're an hour and 15.
Yeah.
Didn't Sousa give you less than an hour?
He gave you like 51 minutes. And then like, dude.
Well, Jonathan, now that you said that, there's no
Is that like the name of like that's like a OnlyFans?
Like, yeah. Oh God.
And Jake said a while back you look like a Rembrandt picture, so it's gonna be
oh my God,
that'd be a long show for you, babe.
I think every time I wear my hair down or whatever, they I think Jake usually says I look like a painting.
Yeah. pa- camo girls.
Oh, jeez.
God's sake. But yeah, no, we're always between an hour and 15 and an hour and 30 on hours. I'm sorry, guys.
Wow, Daniel.
Grace said she's lucky as Susan gives her. Susan, I didn't say it. I still love you, bro. You're the boss. Hour and 15 sounds like you edging is done. That was the greatest thing. Learning what edging was the greatest thing.
Oh my God, that was so funny.
It's all y'all's fault because you told me to go back and watch the exerciser interview, which was fun. That was fun. You guys are hysterical.
Oh my God, you guys were so funny.
So yeah, my edging is over. I finished. I got there. I climaxed.
Natalie, we haven't seen the new CrossFit documentary. I heard that it's good. But it's not like the other ones. From the small things that I've heard about it is that it's pretty much just rewatching the games, and it's not the stories that we love about the documentaries where they're following the athletes a little bit more. So, but we haven't watched it. We haven't watched it yet.
Let me see. Am I getting yelled at on my phone yet? No. All right. Is anybody watching Dubai at all? When I got up to go to work,
I am through Hiller's reels.
Oh, okay.
And him calling out no reps. So I feel like I'm there.
You feel like you're there?
I feel like I'm watching.
You're representing
I'm watching it in real time. I'm getting everything I need to know in real time.
It popped up onto my phone. It popped up onto my phone this morning when I was just sitting waiting to open the store, and I was watching it. It doesn't look like anybody's there, and I did not recognize one person except for that really big kid. I think he's from Australia. He's jacked as shit.
Oh, Jake Douglas.
Yeah. I think that was him. I thought I recognized the tattoo, but that's all I saw. Otherwise, I am not interested in the Dubai stream at all.
Yeah. No, it was I've just seen a couple minutes of it. But like I said, through Hiller's reels, I feel like I know exactly. I'm kept up to speed of the most important things.
Dude, I didn't even know who's there. To be honest.
But isn't Jason, little shout out to Jason CF Media, isn't he doing
FitFest UK?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen a little bit of that, but there is nowhere to watch that, right? I've tried to look for it and I can't find it. So I'm assuming it's not streaming. It's just through Jason.
I forgot where I saw it. I think someone's doing like clips of it. Maybe not the whole event, but like I don't know if it's like the last heat or if it's the just like short recap or whatever. I forget where it is. But nope.
Stop. He's streaming FitFest. I thought that he was in Dubai.
I think he's doing both.
Damn.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you're right. I think he's doing both.
PC with a cell phone. Okay. All right. Awesome. All right. So, now I think I'm getting
vindicates so no one has seen it.
So no one has seen it. Yeah. I didn't know that. I have no idea. What else? How do you want to wrap this up, guys? You got anything else you want us to? I'm starting to get text messages now.
Which means she got like
which now I'm really on the edging countdown. I've only watched for Colton. You know what though? I'm a big now my brain is gonna fry. The little redheaded girl, Shelby Neal. Yeah, I want to watch her. I love that kid. She's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
She's so fun. She's such a sweetheart.
Oh, gee.
God, Jake. Now I'm really not sleeping in the tent. I'm really, really not sleeping in the tent, bro.
Listen, I told you, if we ever go to Rogue, you can go hang out with the boys in the tent. I'll take the baby. We'll go to the hotel.
Pat Lang. You guys think Trump will finish the wall this time? Mexico gonna pay for it? I mean, no, but I hope he does, or at least I not even the wall thing, but I just hope he gets this shit under control. You know what I mean? Like, come on, dude.
We'll see what happens.
Just send some criminals back. Didn't all of them say that? Like, you can't even argue it because Trump said it. Hillary said it a bunch of times that if you commit a crime in this country and you're illegal, you go back. Obama said it. Everybody said it. I agree. If you commit a freaking crazy crime in this country, then you gotta go back, dude. Like, so I hope he gets some stuff done, but mostly I just hope he fixes Title IX.
Leave her alone.
Ooh, my kid's playing with the puppy. There's a clip of Hillary that's MAGA word for, yeah, dude, I saw that. There's a cup, Biden, Hillary. There's an Obama one too, where he's like, I don't support gay marriage. A marriage is between a man and they have all not. It's all ridiculous. They're all ridiculous. What are we? Oh, Pat, are we friends? By the way, I loved you when you came on the show. I was dying laughing that night. I think I texted Sebi. I was like, this is the funniest shit I've seen. You guys were great. I'm actually pro-wall now. Problem is Trump won't get it done because he's retarded and only cares about his new fragrance. What's it called? It's probably called garbage. Which would be fire. That would be par for the course for Trump. That would be amazing. Mm-hmm. I didn't buy his sneakers, but I might go buy his new fragrance line.
Yeah.
Yeah. We got to go. I definitely got to go make some money. I have tiny mouths to feed. So love you guys. Thank you guys so much for all the support and hanging out with us. You guys are so much fun. I'm always so grateful when Sev lets me come do this for him.
Yeah. Thanks for hanging out with us.
So we
appreciate you guys.
We'll see you on the next show, whenever that is. And then, your boy will be back tomorrow. So
hopefully he'll feel better.
Hey, does anybody know when they're
crap the other
Oh my God,
day.
he did sound like he was on his deathbed.
He sounded like crap the other day.
But somebody DM me if what's their new show, Binge Bros, if that goes off again.
Yeah.
I gotta watch that again. So let me know. DM me somebody.
Well, you said that they didn't actually talk about Dexter. It was like a Sevon show just on a different platform.
Yeah, it was. It was fire though. It was like you get to see them uncut.
Yeah.
All right. And on that note.
All right. Bye guys.
Bye-bye.
Thanks so much.
Thanks guys.